Welcome to the Wired for Success podcast, your show for ambitious, mission-driven entrepreneurs who understand that there's more to entrepreneurship than finding the latest flash-in-the-pan strategies, who understand that in order to build your empire, you need a solid foundation. I wholeheartedly believe that entrepreneurship is the biggest self-development journey you can be on, and it's my mission to help you make that journey easier. I help you transition from a struggling, overwhelmed, and overworked entrepreneur to the relaxed and confident CEO and conscious creator of your dream life that you are meant to be. In this show, I bring together the very best from science, self-development, and entrepreneurship to set you up for sustainable success. I share my own experiences and knowledge as a molecular biologist and mindset coach for high-achieving entrepreneurs, and I interview other top scientists, coaches, and entrepreneurs so that you can get all the expert tips and strategies to help you trust yourself more, worry less, make better decisions, be more productive, stay focused and organized, and build your legacy. Hi, I'm Claudia Garbutt, the scientist and mindset coach behind the show, and you're listening to the Wired for Success podcast. Hey everyone, and welcome back to a brand new episode of the Wired for Success podcast. Today I'm looking forward to talk to award-winning entertainer, co-active coach, broadcaster, and inspirationalist Coz Green. I have invited Coz because he is such a great example of what we can all achieve when we leave our comfort zone behind and don't settle for less than we're actually capable of. So welcome, Coz, and thank you so much for being on my show today.
Claudia, it's an absolute pleasure to be with you and your listeners.
Thank you. And those of you who have listened to my podcast for a while, you know that I always like to start my interviews with kind of like the same question. So, Coz, I would love to know how you ended up doing what you're doing today.
Pure and simply, I have listened to the still small voice. There's been a couple of milestones in my life where I felt very strongly that I should be doing certain things. And I don't want to say that it's just like the movie Field of Dreams, but it was kind of like the movie Field of Dreams, where I literally heard a voice saying that I was supposed to be doing certain things. So whether it was an entertainer when I was 12, 13 years old, got into radio at 17, and a speaker, trainer, and coach at 22, 23 years old, I literally feel like I was given some divine inspiration of what I should do and how I should do it. Now, the only time I've really dealt with frustrations or setbacks in my life is when I've strayed from the vision that was given to me. So that's always reminded me, hey, if you just follow the plan, if you just follow the vision of what's been given to you, you'll get there. It's when you get a little cocky or get the ego in the way and you stray from what you're supposed to that life gets a little more difficult.
Yes.
So simply just responding to, I believe, some pretty strong impressions.
Yeah, so that sounds like a very strong intuition speaking there.
You and I understand intuition, so we can call it that. Others might not understand the power of intuition and our ability to tap into it, but we need not go through so much hooey if we really tap into our intuition.
Yeah, that's easier said than done, but I totally agree. So looking back at all the amazing things that you have already achieved so far, what would you say was your biggest success, and why was that your biggest success?
I would actually say my biggest failure turned out to be my biggest success.
That's interesting. How so?
Well, we can't succeed without first failing, and most people are held back by the fear of failure. They say, "Oh, I'm afraid to fail. I'll be embarrassed. I'll lose my time, my money, a relationship." But that fear of failure holds people back from living an extraordinary life. But you can't be afraid to fail. You just need to understand that failure is a natural consequence of trying. And if you need to fail a certain number of times to succeed, then my advice: fail faster, fail harder, get there quicker, because you need to learn those certain lessons. But 11 years ago, in June of 2009, I was just going through the dark night of my soul, my own private hell. And I had sought medical attention to help me get through it. And I was prescribed a deadly cocktail of prescription drugs. And I had an adverse reaction and attempted suicide, not once, not twice, but 3 times in one day. The train didn't kill me. The overdose didn't kill me. And the asphyxiation in the car didn't kill me. But through a miracle, I didn't die. And because of that, I failed at trying to do that. But by failing at that, I got the greatest calling in life, and was given some tools and some keys for even happier living. So I'm grateful for that failure. And had I not gone through that failure, I would have learned certain things. So I'm not afraid to fail. In fact, after that, I feel like that unlocked the door to so many things, because I realized that I had been living in a world less than what possibly could be. I was living a good life, but not an extraordinary life. And I was being held back by fears and sabotage thinking. And when I realized what was possible, and I said, get out of my life to those saboteurs, and actually identified what those fears were and then attacked them head on. You know, my number one fear is heights. I mean, I can't even climb a stepladder without getting the jitters. What's the best way to at least deal with that? Jump out of an airplane from 15,500 feet. This big fear is the open water in the ocean. Yeah. So I went scuba diving 50 times in the depths of the Pacific Ocean. So we're the ones that hold ourselves back from so much happiness and achievement. It's not the outside world. In fact, you know what? Most people don't even care, really, right? Even those close to us, they're so wrapped up in their own world. So don't be afraid to fail.
Yes, I love that. That's such a powerful story, and something that really reminds me of something that I went through as well, because 11 years ago, I suffered from leukemia. And at that point in my life, I was at a very low point. I mean, I had a very difficult relationship. I got the workplace that I was in was just a very difficult environment. And I just felt that I had no alternative. I was stuck where I was. And then on top of that, I was diagnosed with leukemia. But wow. The first thought that popped into my head, and that has stuck with me ever since, was that first thought was, I'm so glad I don't have to go back to work for a couple of weeks. And that really got me thinking, because I mean, if that's your first reaction to being told that you might potentially die, then you know something is very, very wrong with the way you're living your life right now. And that also, you know, really told me, like, I should just face my fears, and I should end that relationship, and I should find another job that I was really happy with. And so I totally relate to your story, and for me it was the same, because fear is holding us back from really living the life that we want to live. So yeah, so with all the negative things going on in the world right now, and all the challenges that people are facing at the moment, can you share a couple of your favorite actionable tips for just overcoming adversity and seeing all the opportunities?
I would say it all starts with something very simple, but as you and I have talked about, it's simple but not easy. And the starting point to achieving anything great in life, and just getting out of the doldrums and getting back to where you should be so that you can really launch towards greater success, achievement, and ultimate happiness and joy, is you have to take 100% responsibility.
Yeah.
Take 100% responsibility for who you are and where you are. You are where you are because of all the decisions you've made to this point right now. It wasn't your parents. It wasn't a former relationship. It wasn't a boss. It wasn't anything. If it's to be, it's up to me. If it's to be, it's up to you. So the key is to take 100% responsibility, not 99%, not 98%, but 100% responsibility. It's been said that if you will, that mental health is really a sliding scale. If mental illness is down here and mental health is up here, it's a scale of total responsibility to irresponsibility. Because if everything is happening out here and it's because of everyone else and you are not taking personal responsibility, then you're listening to one of your greatest saboteurs, which is the victim.
Yeah.
And that is not a good way to live. So if you're going to live an extraordinary life, it's got to be your life. It's got to be on your terms. It's got to be your rules. And you've got to take 100% responsibility, not 99.9 either, 100.
I absolutely agree. So one thing that I also talk a lot about is that in order to achieve, that new, big and exciting life that we want to have, we have to leave our current comfort zone behind. So, well, actually, I don't really like to call it comfort zone because it can be mighty uncomfortable in that zone, right? It's so much more about known territory and about familiarity than it is about comfort. You just know what to do and you know what to expect, and there are no surprises, which is also why we have to leave that zone behind when we are trying to grow and to create new experiences. But I know that this first step out of that familiar zone can be absolutely nerve-wracking and absolutely, like, it's so scary. It's scary as hell. So what has helped you personally to take that leap of faith and just take that very first step?
Well, once you take complete responsibility, realizing that in a way, and I think this is the day we really grow up, is the day we realize no one is coming to the rescue. No one, right?
Sounds
It
scary.
really is up to you. And so once you take 100% responsibility, then I believe the next step with that is you've got to come from a place of gratitude and have an attitude of gratitude, because the more you give thanks for, the more you'll have to give thanks for. So how in the world can you ask for more, whether it's to the universe or your belief in God, whatever, where your blessings come from? How can you ask for more if you're not a good steward over that which you already have? So have an attitude of gratitude and be grateful for what you have and be a good steward of what you have before you ever ask for any more, so to speak. I believe gratitude is really where the fertile soil is, where all of your greatest blessings and the abundance of life grows from. It's not in a field of weeds and hard dirt clods. It's soft, rich, beautiful soil of gratitude. And when you have a grateful heart, you will bring so much more into your life and so much happier, richer blessings. So have an attitude of gratitude. And then I would say a corollary to an attitude of gratitude, which is, we're still talking very basic here, but so difficult for us to do, is because you've taken 100% responsibility and you're grateful for all the people in your life, now you make a commitment for total forgiveness.
Mm-hmm.
You forgive yourself first for every stupid, brainless, wicked, dumb thing you've ever done in the past, because we all have. We're human. And we do a lot of stupid things. But when we replay them over and over again in our head and our saboteurs' voices get louder and we can't forgive ourselves because the judge is our primary saboteur. He's the loudest, or she's the loudest in our mind. And it's the voice that's always telling you, you're not worthy. You're not good enough. You're not smart enough. You're not tall enough. You're not pretty enough. And that judge is not your friend. You really think your judge is your BFF to keep you from being lazy, but your judge is the one that's holding you back from being, having, and doing so much. So you've got to forgive yourself. Then you forgive your parents.
Yeah.
For all the things that they did or did not do, because they did the very best that they could. Because if they could have done better, they would have done better. They really would have. And then third, forgive everybody else. Let it go.
Yes, love that. Especially the gratitude, because when you're truly grateful for something, you cannot be grateful and afraid at the same time. If you're really feeling into the gratitude, you're not afraid, and that allows you to take that next step and to also maybe release those past difficult experiences, like forgive the people that have wronged you. So Love those tips.
Because without that forgiveness, I mean, think about what we're doing. Even in today's world, it's just crazy out there. We're so pitted against each other, right? Red versus blue in this country, or this belief versus the other belief, maybe they're in Germany or Europe, and we're so divided in our hearts.
Mm-hmm.
We've just got to forgive everybody and realize that they're just on their own journey, truly doing the very best that they can. And who are we to judge their journey or their path? Now, if they're doing something that obviously dangers or puts somebody in danger or hurts somebody or is breaking the law, that's one thing. But we've got to let not only our internal judge go, but the judge of others, because Buddha once said that all of life is suffering. And I wondered what that meant, that all of life is suffering. And I realized that this unquiet mind that most people have, the noise, the clutter, the chaos that's in their mind, is these saboteurs that I'm talking about. But they're these opinions, they're these beliefs or these dogmas we have that things are supposed to be a certain way. And frustration comes from unfulfilled expectations.
Yes.
And so if you have certain expectations that this person ought to believe this or they must do that, that's a tough place to come from. Abundance will never be yours.
Yeah, all the shoulds and
we got to stop shoulding on ourselves, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Woulda, coulda, shoulda. I should have done this. I should have done that. Well, stop shoulding on yourself. Forgive yourself and move on.
So true. So now I'm curious. I know that you have kids too, right? And
I do.
And your role as a dad is something that is super important to you. So if you had to choose just one lesson to teach your kids to help them live up to their full potential, what would it be?
I would go back to number one.
Take full responsibility.
Full responsibility. And this is the one thing I can say as a father. And, you know, they say there's no righteous pride, but I believe the pride that you have in your children is good pride, because you should be proud of your children. And I'm very proud of my children. My daughter, Megan, is 26. My son, Ben, is 22. And they have been independent thinkers and independent doers from a very early age. Their mother and I gave them the roots of responsibility and the wings to fly. And I've got to say with pride in my heart, they have done that extremely well.
Awesome.
They take care of themselves from an early age. Can I share a story with you?
Sure, absolutely.
So I was running in a 10K years ago, and at the end of the 10K, they had a big carnival. And they had games, and, you know, they were selling things, you know, how they do it, like street fairs and farmers markets and things like that. Well, we were going to leave for the day, but come back that night for the fireworks. And we're in the car, and we're driving home, and my son, Ben, says, Dad, is there anything we need done at home? Are there any undone, you know, activities on the chore sheet? And I said, no, we're all caught up, buddy. And he just probed a couple of times, and I said, what is it that you need, son? And he said, well, I saw this frog that I'd like to get, but the frog is X and the bowl would be Y, and then I would need some food and I would need this and I need that. So I would need about, let's say, $12 more, and I only have $6. So I need $6 more before we go back for the fireworks tonight. And I said, well, we're all caught up at home, but I'm sure there's some neighbors that might have some things that need to be done. That's all I said. He hopped out of the car when we got home, and he went and knocked on a few doors to the neighbors and offered his service of value to say, what is it that I can do for you of value so that I could earn a few dollars today?
Awesome.
It only took him a couple hours. He earned that $6. We went back to the fireworks. He got his frog and his bowl and his stuff. And you know that was such a powerful lesson for him. And I can honestly say this, for both of my children, they have never asked for money. To me, that's a powerful thing, because they understood the power of personal responsibility. And if it's to be, it's up to them.
Yeah.
And ultimately, their mom and dad, I mean, I helped with my daughter's wedding. That's what dads do, right? But it wasn't like she said, hey, Dad, I need 10 grand. That's not the discussion we had.
Yeah, that's so valuable to learn that you can rely on yourself and that you will find a way to achieve whatever it is you want to achieve. So I agree that that is probably the best gift that you can give your kids to
And
help.
there's a corollary to that. Have you ever seen the movie Saving Private Ryan
Oh, yeah,
with
I
Tom
did,
Hanks?
but a
They're in
long
World
time
War
ago.
II and they're going to go
Yeah.
save Private Ryan. At the end of the movie, there's a powerful line when Tom Hanks is leaning up, or actually he's laying up against the wall. And he says to Private Ryan, he says, "Earn this." And I can't see, I just got chills. I've seen that movie 100 times and I still cry at that part of the movie. And one day we're driving in the car and I hate loose change in my pocket. So I had some loose change in my pocket. Ben was 8 or 9. And I said, "Hold out your hand, son." He held out his hand and he said, "What is this?" And I said, "Well, here's some change." And he pulled his hand back and he said, "No, thank you. I didn't earn that."
Ooh, okay.
Those are powerful lessons that they either learn then or never. But we have to earn this.
Right.
So go out and pursue your dreams and earn this. You can do this. You are enough. The world doesn't think they're enough. They're not tall enough, smart enough, pretty enough, worthy enough. You are enough. You are perfectly imperfect, just the way you are.
Yes.
Now go have and do everything you were created to.
That's such a powerful message, and I love it. And I'm sure our listeners will love it too. So if they want to connect more with you, what's the best way to connect with you and to find you online?
I invite you to go to cozgreen.com. That's COZ, green like the color.com. And go right there to the homepage and it says join our community. Put in your email address and we'll keep you in touch with all of the news and updates and great releases. I have a new book coming out called I Am Enough, Squelch the Inner Saboteur, Squelch the Inner Saboteurs, and enter your email address and we'll let you know the date that that's released. Actually, we'll let you know beforehand and give you some special opportunities when that's released. I also invite you to go to coz.tv. So .tv is like .com. Go to coz.tv, and there's a lot of great videos and interviews where you can learn more.
Fantastic. So thank you so much for this amazing interview, Coz. I really appreciate all your tips and your insights, and it has been such a pleasure getting to know you.
Claudia, I look forward to coming over to Bavaria and seeing you in person.
Yay, let's do that. Well, as soon as we are allowed to travel again.
Absolutely. I got a buddy who lives south of Munich, and a visit there is long overdue. So we got to get there sooner rather than later.
Yes, awesome. Have a wonderful day and talk to you soon. Bye.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye. Have a wonderful day.
You too. Thank you so much for listening to the Wired for Success podcast. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you did, please take a sec to rate and review my show. It would mean the world to me because you'd help me reach more entrepreneurs like yourself who would love this show. If you'd like to learn more about creating a widely successful business without sacrificing your health, relationships, or sanity, make sure to stick around and subscribe so you don't miss out on any future episodes. And why don't you help me spread the word and share this show with your friends? I'd really appreciate it, and I'm sure your friends will too. Want to continue this conversation, build real relationships, and join a community of like-minded entrepreneurs? Come join my free Facebook community for visionary entrepreneurs. I would love to see you there. In the meantime, if you haven't done so already, grab my free brain priming audio file for entrepreneurs and start priming your brain for success in less than 5 minutes each morning. Curious? You can learn more about how this works and download the audio file at www.wiredforsuccess.solutions. Until next time, bye!